I never really planned on making this video because I felt, oh, well, at least I always felt like it didn't really matter what people's, say about, certain ships and like, you know, their opinion or interpretation of the story in regards to ship because I always felt like, you could ship whoever you want as long as you're not being, um, to put it nicely, a meanie towards people, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone has their own preference. They have their own ship. They could ship whoever they want. And the idea that people just go online to just harass or like make comments or just annoy people with like their personal opinions about a ship, I felt like everyone has those rights, and I'm not here to like complain about them or like tell you that you should you should stop doing such things, because you could literally just scroll and ignore anytime someone makes a shipping post, yet people don't do that. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is specifically because I've noticed for many years now, and really there was no really time for me or like a reason for me to make this video, but I feel like now should be a good time to do it because it has happened often now, especially on everyone's favorite social media website, X/Twitter. So I think it's time I talk about it a little bit, and it's this idea that people have, especially coming from anti-shippers or generally just anybody who doesn't like shipping at all, or rival ships as well, that LuNami is wrong to ship. It's such a weird statement because there's no really any reason to dislike LuNami that causes someone to say, oh, it is wrong to ship them, right? There's nothing in the story, there's nothing in like Oda's words, interviews, where it's just like, oh, it is very wrong to ship them because a person thinks they're a sibling, like, or Luffy's arrow ace, or Nami's a lesbian, or Nami only thinks about money and Luffy only thinks about meat. He doesn't have any sex drive or anything like that. And it's from time to time you see these statements about how wrong it is because of certain reasons like that. And it just always bothered me, just not to the point where I would make a video like this. But I think at this point in time, I think a lot of people have seen this. A lot of people were attacked and harassed by this. Artists even were like, they were just drawing what they like, what they enjoy, which, every artist has every right to do, to express, their joy, what they like in their artwork. And people will go after these artists because they dislike the ship, and all of a sudden they call the art garbage, or like attack the artists themselves. And it's just like, no, what is wrong with you? Why are you attacking the artist? Yes, you may not like the ship that's being presented in the fan art, but what in the world gives you the right to attack the artist and the art itself? Like, that blows my mind to me. Like, you're trying to depict the artist as someone who is drawing something forbidden or taboo, right? Because you personally believe that LuNami is wrong to ship because of, I don't know what reason you may have, because there's many different reasons why people say such things, such as their sibling likes, which, by the way, Oda has never presented them as siblings, or either Luffy or Nami ever called each other siblings. Yes, I understand there's a whole found family, dynamic, but the dynamic with found families doesn't necessarily mean that the characters inside them cannot romantically fall in love, because guess what? They're adults. They're not actually siblings. If you notice, sometimes in life, two people who grew up as childhood friends can grow up, think of each other as a, as like a sister or a brother to them, but at the time they didn't realize their romantic feelings until they got older, and then boom, those childhood friends get married. Do you see how that happens in life? Like, it literally does happen in life. And the idea that, Luffy and Nami are immediately just siblings so they could never fall in love, or like you believe they're like siblings, they could never fall in love, is so weird to me. It's such a really weak argument, because you're not proving through evidence from the story, right? You're probably using that one Oda SBS where he talks about a what if scenario, which again, if you read properly, it says what if in it. So it's just like, it's such a weak argument because you're not providing any evidence as to why this ship cannot happen. Now, if you provide evidence, and that evidence is because of a rivalship of LuNami that you enjoy, okay, that's not necessarily evidence against LuNami, right? It doesn't really, take away evidence of LuNami. What it just means is that you support another ship because you think the evidence that you are given is stronger than the evidence that LuNami are given. Do you understand? Do you see how that works? It's not, absolutely not about trying to, detract evidence from another ship. Shipping in general is all about taking moments of your ship and trying to use it to prove your own ship. That does not at all negate the evidence provided for the other ship. Now, of course, some people can misinterpret moments and misinterpret scenarios, and that is understandable why some people may debate in regards to that. But it doesn't take away the evidence that you may have for your ship. And the idea that like rival ships tend to do this as proof that, LuNami or any other ship cannot exist is wrong. That's not how you should ship at all. You can have debates, right? You can have debates about, each other's ships, but you have to provide evidence that supports your ship, right? Because evidence that supports your ship is great to use as evidence. But if you try to use like moments of the other ship and try to, in some form or way, try to detract, that evidence as evidence because of your own interpretation, that's not necessarily how it works. But you can have a debate. You can have a civil debate without, calling each other names, without insulting anybody, right? At the end of the day, it's just weird. Very weird that so many people in the One Piece community, whether you like shipping or not, because I understand a lot of people in the One Piece community just don't like shipping at all. And, there are certain shippers out there in the world that can be a little bit overwhelming for a lot of people, especially those who don't like ships in One Piece in general and just want, everyone to stay as friends, right? Some can be very overwhelming. At the end of the day, though, they're allowed to ship those characters. If they believe it, sure. I think all shippers have to understand there's a line that you should never cross, and that is headcanon and actually what is canon, right? Right now in One Piece, no ship is canon. Regardless of what anyone says, no ship is canon at the moment where the story is at. So no one is able to cross that canon line at all. Everything is just headcanon at this point. But that doesn't mean they can't celebrate those moments. Yet, LuNami seems to always get attacked more so than many other ships, it seems like. Now, granted, it could be because I'm seeing a lot of the LuNami negativity, but I have noticed that, when it comes to like Frobin or Zosan or, Zoro Sanji, Frankie Robin, Sanji Nami sometimes, they don't get a lot of the flack or a lot of the weird arguments people have for LuNami despite very much similarities such as they being Straw Hats. Right? A lot of people say, oh, well, LuNami are siblings, but I ship Sanji Nami, right? Like, no romance in the crew, but I like Sanji Nami. Like, that is legit something I have seen, and it's so hypocritical of that person to make that kind of statement. But it shows you, like, what their mindset is. It's not about no romance in the crew. It's about not wanting LuNami as a ship. And now part of that could be because they're threatened by it. Right? They're threatened by it because literally people can make fan art of LuNami. It gets a bunch of likes, gets a bunch of engagement, and they will hate on it. Right? They will literally go to it and hate on it because of their own personal grudge, their own personal rivalship, or just, being anti-shippers. But, like, it doesn't warrant the hate that LuNami should get. It doesn't. Just because you don't like it, just because you misinterpret it, does not mean that people cannot ship it. You call it disgusting. You call it wrong to ship them. But your evidence is baseless. You want to use the sibling argument, but it's such a weak argument because nothing in the story, nothing that Oda has, literally said about these characters showcase that they are or only see each other as, a brother or sister. They literally see each other as friends. Luffy has constantly called every single one of his crewmates his friends. Never a brother, never a sister. Now, you may get the idea that they have like a sibling-like relationship, but that is your interpretation of what you think sibling-like is like. That's the whole thing. It's an interpretation that you have. It doesn't mean it is exactly the type of relationship they do have in the story, right? I'll give you a perfect example from another manga. Full Metal Alchemist, Winry, literally called Ed you know, someone who is like her brother. And yet, at the end of the story, spoiler alert, they get married. So it's such a bizarre thing, right? Such a bizarre thing. And we even have proof of One Piece having that kind of thing, where we have Kinemon and Sudo, that relationship, Kuma and Jinny. They have that relationship that they initially thought of each other as, you know, a brother or a sibling, and they got together in the story. Well, sort of. Kuma Jimmy is more is a sad, but Kinoma and Suda did. But like again, we see the relationship grow between Kuma and Jinny to the point where like they did have feelings for each other. It just tragically never happened, right? So that's why it's so weird, because you literally have moments where you have people like, or characters who do think like that initially, and then they fall in love, and yet you use that same argument for LuFiNami just because you either don't like shipping or have a rivalship against them. So it's like, to all the LuFiNami fans out there, I want to express this so much. It is not, absolutely not wrong to ship LuFiNami. Absolutely not wrong. They're not siblings, right? They're not blood related. Like all these so-called reasons that people give to deny this ship, it's a misinterpretation, or it's their interpretation of these characters. That doesn't mean that you absolutely should not ship them. You have every right to ship them. Even if people think they're Luffy's error ace, if people think Nami is a lesbian, at the end of the day, it is not wrong to ship LuFiNami. No matter what someone says on the internet, it is not wrong. It is not taboo. It is not gross. You are allowed to ship LuNami in any way you want, whether it be art, whether it be fan fiction, whether it be supporting, you know, showcasing, you know, your favorite pics, your favorite moments from the anime, from the manga. You're allowed to ship it. If Oda ever had an issue with it, he would have done so. He would have done something where he would have immediately told you not to do so. But he hasn't, because you are allowed to ship them. It is not weird. It is not gross. So to all my fellow LuFiNami fans who are like hiding, or who don't want to express their joy for this ship, or who are afraid from getting like really bad comments, like, or be intimidated by other people who just have this weird hatred for something that really doesn't or shouldn't bother them at all. Like, it really doesn't. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If you feel, or you know, you feel scared of supporting your ship, LuFiNami, if you're afraid of that, if you feel like you don't want to see the bad comments, mean comments, you can block people. You can also talk to fellow LuFiNami fans. You can talk to them. We are out there. We are open. Some of us are really open with our mutual feelings for LuFiNami. We are out there. We are more than happy to discuss with you. We will happily even go out of our way to, you know, defend you from people who make these mean comments. Like, it really, it's just shocking that so many people are like this about a goddamn ship that's like a really healthy relationship. Like, they're really good friends, right? If it becomes something a lot more, then that's great. You know, hooray, we can celebrate. But even if Oda just makes them friends, that's even still good. It's still a good thing, because at the end of the day, we love their relationship more than anything, right? We love it so much. And all of you who are afraid, don't be, because at the end of the day, you have someone like me. You have other people who are LuFiNami fans out there who want you to be happy, to celebrate, and just have fun shipping, and not hide who you like, you know, in a relationship, who you like as a ship. You don't have to be afraid of that. You don't have to be afraid of some people who just hate just because of engagement baiting, or just simply just, you know, it just bothers them, right? So go out there, draw your fan art, write your fan fiction, do whatever you want, share your favorite LuFiNami moments, do all of this, and celebrate your ship. It doesn't matter at the end of the day what anyone else tells you, or they tell you it's gross, disgusting, whatever. At the end of the day, you are allowed to ship, and I think people who do not allow others to ship are just really weird. They're really weirdos, especially the ones who attack artists. Like, I don't get that. I really don't. It's such a bad look for anyone. Honestly, it's just so strange. So, please, don't be afraid. Let it out. Let go and just celebrate your ship. Celebrate LuNami. Because if that's what you love, if that's what's important to you, do it. So thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, I can't believe I made this video. I never thought about making a video like this because I always felt like, you know, it didn't really matter. But it does. At the end of the day, it does. And I think people need to realize that people are allowed to ship whoever they want. You know, just because a few people decide to comment or engage in a very bad way, you know, to just be mean and try to imprint their interpretation onto others, I just feel like that's just wrong. Like, I don't ever tell people, you know, how they should feel about certain things, right? But I do go and say something when they're attacking artists. So let me know what you think of this video. If you want to join, you know, my Discord, you're more than welcome to. The link of the Discord will be down below. We could definitely talk more about LuNami, and if you ever have any, you know, questions or want, you know, people or someone to talk to about LuNami, you're more than welcome to also follow me on Twitter. You know, my DMs are open, and yeah, I mean, I'm always available to talk if you're ever concerned about LuNami, so let me know. And yeah, thank you. Well, can't believe I made this video, but yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.